I wouldn't go down there if I were you.
This is the only way to save everyone in the house. I need to see what's down there.
A cry for help will make no sound, with secrets deep below the ground. Dare he walk into the black, for once he's in, he won't come back.
The staircase coiled down and down beneath the house, carved out of the very rock the house sat on. Lit only by flickering lanterns, I worked my way towards the green glow beckoning me at the end of the tunnel. Finally passing through the frame of a large metal door and into the Belmore vault. In taking my body, Rackham had also taken all the belongings I'd collected. I wondered what he'd done with them. I tried with all my might to open the vault door, but with no luck. It had been locked from the other side. It was the sturdy handle used to open and close the vault. The vault had a second door that reminded me of a safe, only lockable from the outside. I tried with all my might to open the... A pair of hinges attached the vault door to its frame. Holding the door in place was a pair of metal hinges that each looked like they'd begun to fracture, but pulling at them with my fingers would do nothing. There was nothing on the hinges for the pliers to get purchase on. The auger wasn't strong enough to get through the reinforced hinges on the vault door. The auger wasn't strong. I couldn't do that. It was a huge mechanical crane reaching out over the chasm. It was the handwheel I'd reattached to the crane. With the handwheel reattached, I could now operate the crane. It was the crane hook dangling at the end of the chain. The hook hung out of reach. That didn't work. I had once won a wooden whistle in a lasso game at the county fair. Now it was time to play the game with a little more on the line. I attached the heavy metal hook to the handle on the door. Well, I hope that holds. I turned the handwheel, pulling the chain taut, but the vault door remained secure in its frame. It must have still been attached somehow. I turned the handwheel, pulling the chain taut, but the vault door remained secure in its frame. It must have still been attached somehow. The coffin lay at the center of a rocky mound poking out of the spirit water. Arcane circles were carved into the stone around it. As I peered into the coffin, I saw for the first time the cursed artifact that had caused all of this, the coffin stone. Its surface is black as brimstone, each crack faceted like an emerald. Simultaneously beautiful and terrifying. Looking back into the treasure coffin, I found it now contained all the items I'd collected on my adventure. It was the odd assortment of items I'd gathered on my journey, now abandoned in the coffin. Clearly Rackham saw no use for them. I gathered up all the belongings I'd been carrying. Rackham might not see their purpose, but if they'd helped me out once, they might be useful again. The entire vault was flooded with spirit water, its glow illuminating the cavern. Decades of exposure to the coffin stone had turned the water green with cursed energy, just like the spirit water in Moray's riverboat. I didn't want to put my hand in it. The coffin lay at the center of a rocky mound poking out of the spirit water. Arcane circles were carved into the stone around it. I placed the first key. The key did... I placed the third key into the mantelpiece and immediately heard a click. I didn't know what exactly I was going to discover beneath the house, but it was time to find out.
I wouldn't go down there if I were you.
This is the only way to save everyone in the house. I need to see what's down there.
A cry for help will make no sound, with secrets deep below the ground. Dare he walk into the black, for once he's in, he won't come back.
The staircase coiled down and down beneath the house, carved out of the very rock the house sat on. Lit only by flickering lanterns, I worked my way towards the green glow beckoning me at the end of the tunnel. Finally passing through the frame of a large metal door and into the Belmore vault. In taking my body, Rackham had also taken all the belongings I'd collected. I wondered what he'd done with them. As I peered into the coffin, its surface simultaneously beautiful and terrifying. Looking back into the treasure coffin, I found it now contained all the items I gathered up all the belongings I'd been carrying. Rackham might not see their purpose, but if they'd helped me out once, they might be useful again. I'd once I attached the heavy metal hook to the handle on the door. Well, I hope that holds. The vault door was much too strong to break down with my shovel. I may not have been able to get through the vault door with brute force, but I could certainly make an impact on its hinges. I tried with all my might to open the vault door, but with no luck. It had been locked from the other. Even with the hinges broken, the vault door was far too heavy for me to move with my bare hands. The vault door went crashing into the spirit water below, and in doing so gave me my escape route. With no time to lose, I needed to get to the ballroom.
We are gathered here today to join Abigail Belmore and Murphy McCallan in holy matrimony.
Rackham's plan was taking shape. At the far end of the ballroom, Father Foskett was delivering the rites that would wed Abigail to Rackham, even if he'd possessed my body to do it. I needed to stop the wedding, and I didn't have much time left at all. At the far end of the ballroom, I could see the wedding unfolding. Rackham, possessing my body, was about to marry Abigail. Marching up to them without a plan wasn't going to be a wise move. I couldn't go any further and risk Rackham seeing me before I was ready to confront him. Rows and rows of translucent ghosts dressed in their finery sat watching the wedding. The peculiarity of what was happening didn't seem to faze the ghosts in attendance, who watched with an eerie calm. I needed to think of something. I could... In a flash of inspiration, a plan came into my mind. The summoning spell revealed that which is hidden within. Maybe it could reveal the evil spirit that was hidden within my mortal body, if I could find all the ingredients. Mrs. Craddock was fizzing with stress like a shaken-up bottle of soda pop. One more shake and she'd be ready to burst. "Good evening, Mrs. Craddock."
It is certainly not a good evening. The kittens aren't prepared, the flower arrangements are a shambles, and they've changed the schedule 3 times already.
The schedule?
Right behind me in black and white. And am I even permitted to see the wedding? Of course not.
In case any guests arrive late. Through a door we're supernaturally barred from passing through.
I almost daren't say it, but I'm on the verge of resigning my duties. I am the head of housekeeping. I deserve respect.
I need to stop the wedding.
You shall do no such thing. I've put a lot of work into this event, and I won't have an off-the-street gutter snipe like you interrupting it. I'm barely hanging on as it is.
What did you say was on the chalkboard?
As I said, this is the schedule of tonight's events. I've spent the past 40 minutes writing that up, with all the calligraphic flair my teachers taught me in preparatory school. And now I'm hearing rumors that the schedule is going to change. No self-respecting housekeeper should have to deal with so much in such a short period. One more change, and I shall be handing in my notice.
Goodbye, Mrs. Craddock.
Goodbye, indeed.
As a ghost, I was trapped in the house. I needed to get my body back. That didn't work. I didn't need to pour spirit water on that. I didn't need to tie that up. I placed the feather duster in the Gris-Gris. That would work as black feathers.
Leave it there, boy. I'm saving it for the toast.
It was clear that if I wanted it, I was going to have to persuade the Colonel to let me take it. A tricky task when he was deafer than Beethoven wearing earmuffs. Good evening, Colonel. I had nothing else to say to the Colonel. A dying tree stood next to the balcony, its branches devoid of leaves, its bark flaking away. The flames in the fireplace glowed green, and I remembered the fire I escaped aboard the Spirit Queen. It wasn't a good sign. The pot was practically empty again, with only a few drops of liquid wax left at the bottom. After my escapades with the fish and its hidden horseshoe, I couldn't do that. I didn't need to search for a book right now. The wine racks were largely bare. What few bottles remained were cracked and empty. The cellar was lined with barrel after barrel. The Belmores must have known how to party. It was a Brobdingnagian barrel that put all the other barrels to shame. I had already taken the last of the rum. I considered looking through the boxes, but doubted my... It was a firework rocket, the type that needed to be placed in a tube to launch it. I didn't need to cut that. I didn't want to make a hole. Knowing the explosive contained gunpowder, I placed the firework into the Gris-Gris. fire beneath the pot was already burning steadily, even if it was green. I didn't need to show him that. The trunk was empty. The door was locked again. The door was locked again. The door was locked again. It was the broken doors out to the balcony, now sealed with long wooden planks. I could still feel the draft of the outside air through the shattered glass. I didn't have the time or tools to remove the wooden planks. Now wasn't the time to break out of the house. My focus was on the ballroom. Abigail had gone, and so had the final tokens of her happiness. It was the top of the bride's dress. There was nothing I could do with the... It was a beautiful vase waiting for beautiful flowers. It was best to leave the vase where it was. I couldn't see anything special about the phone. There was nothing left in the ashpan. That didn't work. That didn't work. That wasn't going to work. Nope. Above the fireplace hung individual It was a grand four-poster bed with a carving of a single rose on its canopy. Now wasn't the time for a nap. I picked up the horn. Abigail had no need for it anymore. It was the phonograph, once again broken without its horn. Playing the phonograph wouldn't have been any help anymore. I didn't want to draw attention to my... Would you like your ear trumpet back?
It's no use. I can't hear a blasted thing you say. I wish I had my ear trumpet back.
I'll take that as a yes.
Oh, thank you, my boy. I suppose now that Foskett's not here, I can enjoy a little peace again.
Why aren't you at the ceremony?
The ceremony?
I think everybody's gone through to the ballroom for the wedding.
Well, I didn't hear an announcement.
I wondered why. The colonel remained in his chair like he'd melted into it. He clearly had no idea where everyone else in the house had gone, but also clearly didn't care. Good evening, Colonel. I need to stop the wedding.
An objection? Oh, how exciting! I objected at a wedding once. The unfortunate part was that I was the groom.
Do excuse me. I'll be back.
I'll drink to that.
Would you like me to top off your drink?
Oh, yes, my boy. Good plan. I meant to save it for the toast, but who can blame a man when such temptation is right in front of him?
I poured the rum from the colonel's glass into the Gris-Gris. I had nothing else to say. Now wasn't the time to rearrange. My piano repertoire consisted only of a few bars of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and I thought it best not to inflict that upon anyone. A grand piano took center stage in the room, exuding the confidence of an aristocrat who knew it was the most important thing there. Walking back into the conservatory, I could hear the unnerving hum of electricity. The outer casing of the automaton had been removed. Clearly, Rupert was undertaking some maintenance on it. The plants seemed to have developed a mind of their own, spilling out of their flower beds and pots until they filled the conservatory like string lights on a Gothic Christmas tree. Examining the overgrowth felt more like being in a zoo than an arboretum. I didn't want to get any closer. I couldn't see anything alive in the plant pot, despite the gardener's best efforts. A wooden sign had been haphazardly strung around the automaton. The gardener's hand-painted sign of a human skull surrounded by electricity bolts clearly warned me to stay away if I didn't want to get electrocuted. What I once thought was a statue was now revealed to be an intricately mechanized automaton in the image of an Indian prince. The casings were elaborately formed sheet metal meant for the automaton, and not very useful for much else. Panels had been removed from the automaton and stacked on the floor. The danger sign dangling from the automaton warned of electrocution. Now it wasn't just the plants in the conservatory that were deadly, it was the statuary too. Being dead already, I decided to take the risk. I took the engraved coin from the automaton's now open hand. The gardener's hand-painted sign of a human skull surrounded by electricity. The fountain dominated the room like the queen on a chessboard, but this queen had been dethroned decades ago. Being made of silver, the engraved coin was just right for going into the Gris-Gris. The wooden sign had the quaint charm of a handmade woodcraft, if it wasn't for the skull and crossbones painted on it. A decorative chalkboard stood by the door. The delicately drawn writing on the chalkboard listed the schedule of events for the wedding.
Don't you touch that!
I had nothing else to say to her.
Don't you touch that!
Noticing the similarity between Mrs. Craddock's chalk artistry and the wedding schedule, it was time to ask some questions. Are the times on your chalkboard correct?
Excuse me, whatever do you mean?
Well, it's just that I was given this other schedule and the times are very different from yours. Maybe things have been shuffled around?
No, this can't be. How am I expected to work under these conditions? A wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime event. If they keep reconsidering every decision, I can't be expected to keep up with it.
Yep, definitely different. This looks like it'll take ages to fix.
That's it! They're already at the altar. I shall be taking my leave. Somebody else can hand out the vol-au-vents.
With the noise and waddling motion of a cranky goose, Mrs. Craddock strode across the grand hall, through a doorway, and out of sight. The delicately drawn writing on the chalkboard. Like a guilty schoolchild held back after class, I rubbed down the chalkboard. And came away with the flag covered in chalk dust. I placed the chalk dust covered flag into the Gris-Gris. That didn't work. I needed to think of something else. One by one, I pried the old nails from the coffin. I placed the coffin nails into the Gris-Gris. The vault door had landed in the water below, barely poking above the surface. The vault door was of no use to me. It was a strange feeling, staring at a skeleton that I knew used to be me. I couldn't reach the skeleton from inside the house. I didn't have the time or tools. Now wasn't the time to break out of the house. My focus was on the ballroom. The door was locked again. The door was locked again. I couldn't reach the skeleton from inside the house. I didn't need to tie that up. I couldn't reach the... Now wasn't the time to break out of that. It was a strange feeling, staring at a decaying skeletal body that, once upon a time, used to be me. It was a strange feeling, staring at a skeleton that I knew used to be me. Knowing the skeleton belonged to a former version of myself, I didn't feel quite as uneasy taking a piece of it. I placed the skeletal finger in the Gris-Gris. That would work as the bone fragment. That was the final ingredient. Now I just needed one more thing, an image of the focus. And this time, the focus was going to be me. I remembered the photograph of me that had been taken earlier that night, still privately tucked away inside the captain's license. I folded it up and placed it inside the Gris-Gris, knowing that it would work perfectly to direct the spell towards its focus, my own body. So the spell was ready. Now it was time to confront Rackham.
Like two threads woven into the same fabric, may your lives be interwoven with love. If anyone can show just cause why these two may not lawfully be wed, speak now, or forever hold your peace.
She doesn't love him.
You meddlesome fool! I am her groom. I will marry her.
Rackham has been using dark magic. The bride is under a love spell, and he's possessed my body for this wedding.
Your claims are the ravings of a madman. Vosket, resume the ceremony at once.
Yes. Then, by the power vested in me...
You've underestimated me for the last time, Rackham. If you won't return to me what is mine, I have the power to take it. Within the focus what may hide, this spell will soon reveal.
I now declare you... husband and wife.
Murphy, I'm back. We're married.
No! No!
You may now kiss the bride.
You fool! You've destroyed everything!
I've saved everything, including the one I love. But there is one thing that needs to be destroyed, Rackham, and that's you. I needed something more powerful to defeat Rackham. Rackham stood there in a furious daze. His darting eyes betrayed panic at the growing realization that his evil plan was coming unraveled. This ends tonight, Rackham. This ends... Abigail was free of the curse at last. I just needed to get rid of Rackham for good. Abigail, what should I do?
You need to stop Rackham, Murphy.
Lying at my feet was the sordid item that had caused all this suffering and heartbreak.
Murphy, now that we're married, the power of the stone is yours too.
And for once, it'll be used for good.
No!
Rackham, be gone.
No!
I knew you'd do it, Murphy. Do you remember now?
I can't believe I ever forgot you.
I knew you'd come back. Even if just for a final goodbye.
Goodbye? Why goodbye?
The spell is broken. The ghosts of the house are able to move on.
And as I looked around us, I saw each ghost in the audience fading away as they passed over to the spirit realm, each with a grateful smile. With the heartbreaking realization, I knew Abigail would be next.
Murphy, I think I have to go with them now.
I can't lose you again, Abigail.
It was worth it to see you one last time. You've freed me. Thank you, Murphy, for everything.
No, I won't let this be the end. Abigail was fading away. No matter how tightly I held her, she was slipping away from me. Stay with me, Abigail.
I wish I could, Murphy.
The coffin stone glowed green with the stolen years of Rackham's life. For once in a lifetime of evil, Rackham could do something good. The coffin stone captures a person's remaining years, and now it holds Rackham's. Abigail, I give them to you. You're back.
Just like you came back for me. Nothing could keep us apart. Not even death.
33 years without you. I never thought I'd be able to hold you again.
33 years stuck in this house. Come on, Murphy. Let's go see the sunrise. So how does it feel being a treasure hunter?
It would have been easier if I'd remembered what the treasure was this whole time. All those dreams I had of a treasure calling out to me from this house. It wasn't $13 million. It wasn't even the coffin stone. It was you. You were the treasure.
And you found me.
Why did nobody tell me who I was from the beginning?
You couldn't just be told you're in love with someone you don't recognize. You needed to remember it yourself. I knew it would happen eventually.
Why did nobody living recognize me?
Rackham has all kinds of powers I'm not sure we'll ever understand. For years, he'd been trying to erase all memories of you. His plan relied on it. To everyone else, you became just a blur. How could anyone really make the leap to realize you're a reincarnation from 30-something years ago? You didn't even know it yourself.
How did I come back from the spirit realm?
Don't you remember?
No, I remember the moment I died, and then the earliest memories of this new life I've been living, but nothing in between.
Madame Planchette told me that spirits can come back if their ties to the mortal realm remain strong enough. But even she doesn't know more than that. Who knows if we'll ever find out?
What happened to all the ghosts in the house?
They'll all have crossed over now. So many years of life destroyed by Rackham's deeds. And he didn't even need the coffin stone to do it. The spirits no longer had much to keep them here in the mortal realm anymore. They'll be happier that way. And we all end up there eventually.
In some cases, we come back. What happened to Rackham?
I don't know, but I hope his spirit was destroyed. I'd hate to think it's moved on to the spirit realm. All I do know is that we don't have to worry about him here anymore.
What are we going to do with the coffin stone?
It stayed safe in the vault for over 30 years. For now, perhaps that's where we should return it to. I think it's our duty now to watch over it, to make sure it never falls into evil hands.
Again. So, this is the end of our adventure.
This is only the beginning, Murphy. It took a bit longer than we expected, but we're married now, after all these years.
The rest of our lives are ours again.
Till death do us part.
And even longer than that.